What up, y'all? This is your boy, Mr. Downtown Ray Melo, and you're listening to the Entertainment Report on iHeartRadio for Monday, June 22nd, 2015, delivering some major stories and trends going on in the world of entertainment and beyond. You can follow the show on Facebook or on Twitter, facebook.com/The Entertainment Report with Ray Melo, that's RAYMELO, or on Twitter at The Enter Report. You can listen to the show anytime you want on iHeartRadio. Just go to iHeart.com, search for The Entertainment Report, and it'll take you to the page. Hopefully everybody had a fantastic weekend. Apple bowed to criticism by Taylor Swift on Sunday, reversing a policy to not pay artists during a 3-month trial period of its new streaming service. Apple Senior Vice President of Internet Software and Service, Eddie Q, tweeted the news on Sunday. He tweeted, "We hear you at Taylor Swift 13 and indie artists love Apple." He also tweeted, #Apple Music will pay artists for streaming even during customers' free trial period. The singer-songwriter posted an open letter to Apple on her Tumblr Sunday saying her album 1989 won't be on the company's new streaming service, but it launches on June 30th because she disagrees with its business plans. In the blog posted titled "To Apple, Love Taylor," Swift slammed the company for offering users a free 3-month trial, a period in which she says the service will not compensate artists for the music that it's streaming. Swift wrote, "I'm sure you are aware that Apple Music will be offering a free 3-month trial to anyone who signs up for the service. I'm not sure you know that Apple Music will not be paying writers, producers, or artists for those 3 months. I find it to be shocking, disappointing, and completely unlike this historically progressive and generous company." Apple unveiled the new streaming service at its Worldwide Developers Conference in San Francisco on June 8th with a splashy news conference attended by hip-hop star Drake. The service will integrate a number of functions including on-demand streaming, live radio, and downloads, and will cost $9.99 per month. It will also offer a family plan providing service for up to 6 family members for $14.99 per month. Swift retweeted Q's tweet, so it's safe to say she approves. She tweeted, "I'm elated and relieved. Thank you for your words of support today. They listened to us." President Obama created a stir Monday after using the N-word on Marc Maron's WTF podcast. The president said while making the point that the legacy of slavery and racism are still prevalent in America, he said, "It's not just a matter of not being polite to say the N-word in public. That's not the measure of whether racism still exists or not. It's not just a matter of overt discrimination. Societies don't overnight completely erase everything that happened 200 to 300 years prior." Obama noted that these stains in our history leaves a long shadow. He wrote, he said, "The legacy of slavery, Jim Crow laws, discrimination in almost every institution of our lives, that casts a long shadow, and that's still part of our DNA that's passed on. We're not cured of it." The president also expressed his disgust with the NRA's grip on Congress and the lack of action on gun violence. He said, "I will tell you, right after Sandy Hook, Newtown, when 26-year-olds are gunned down and Congress literally does nothing, yes, that's the closest I came to feeling disgusted. I was pretty disgusted." Predictability, the president's use of the polarizing word, set Twitter abuzz. One writer wrote, literal CNN News, Obama uses N-word on purpose, while Ebony Mom Politics wrote, #CNN at Carol CNN puts POTUS use N-word in its news. He called N-word and it's Monday. Martha Stewart's Living Ominmedia will be acquired by Sequential Brands Group for approximately $353 million, the company announced on Monday. Under the terms of the merger agreement, which has been approved by the boards of directors of both companies, Martha Stewart will continue to be an integral part of the brand she founded with a renewed long-term commitment to serve as chief creative officer. Sequential said in a statement. They also added, Ms. Stewart will become a significant stockholder of the new public holding company of Sequential and MSLO, and Ms. Stewart will be nominated to serve as its board directors as of the closing. The acquisition comes during a rough year for Stewart's company, which has been seized revenue trial and recently handed control of its magazine business to Meredith. For the first quarter of 2015, it lost $2.6 million. Sales plunged by 48% to $17.1 million, with declines in all segments of the business. New York-based Sequential owners manages and licenses a diverse portfolio of brands across industries, including Jessica Simpson, Ellen Tracy, Linens and Things, Revo, and the Franklin Mint. According to the company's website, it is, quote, focused solely on promoting, protecting, and activating our portfolios of consumer brands through partnerships with best-in-class licenses. Stewart started as a stockbroker before launching a small catering business in the late 70s. She progressed to lifestyle guru fame over the next decade to become a titan of entertaining and homemaking with top-selling tomes, including Martha Stewart's Quick Cook Menus, Martha Stewart's Wedding Planner, and Martha Stewart's Christmas. The backbone of the company was her monthly magazine, Martha Stewart Living, her eponymous cable TV show, and deals with major retail chains. Stewart took her company to public in 1999, but was forced to resign in 2002 after being charged with insider trading in shares of biotech company Clone Systems. She was found guilty and sentenced to 5 months in prison, splitting her time between a minimum security prison in Alderson, West Virginia, and her home in Connecticut. She was barred from taking a hands-on role at the company for years, but returned as chairwoman in 2012. It sounds more like Smokey and the Bandit, but a former child actor who played Anakin Skywalker in the Star Wars movie was in jail and facing charges Sunday after alleged leading law enforcement officers on a high-speed chase in Walterboro, South Carolina. Jake Lloyd was charged with reckless driving after hitting speeds over 100 miles an hour before crashing into trees off Interstate 95. Colleton County Sheriff Sergeant Kyle Strickland told the Associated Press. The incident involved the former child actor who appeared as Skywalker in the 1999 movie Star Wars Episode I, The Phantom Menace, occurred Wednesday but only came to light over the weekend. That can probably be attributed to questions regarding his identity. When arrested following the chase, he gave his name as Jake Broadbent, Strickland said. Deputies eventually determined his real identity through a former talent agent and by checking his birth date and Fort Collins, Colorado birthplace, both of which matched the actor's bios listed on IMDb. Lloyd hasn't acted since 2005, following a series of gigs as Anakin Skywalker's voice in Star Wars video games. Barbara Brogliatti, who worked as a top publicity executive at Warner Bros. For 18 years, died Sunday morning in her Napa Valley, California home after a long battle with cancer. She was 69. Brogliatti, who served as the executive vice president and chief corporate communications officer at Warner Bros., had cancer that spread to the brain, the studio confirmed to the Wrap. Her command and understanding of the industry gave her influence beyond that of most public relations executive. Brogliatti was a key player for the studio's alliance of motion picture and television producers in labor negotiations with the talent guides as a strategist as well as a spokeswoman. She spearheaded the educational task force on intellectual property protection for the Motion Picture Association of America, the Hollywood Studios lobby arm. Brogliatti also handled the marketing and publicity activities for the unprecedented fundraiser America Tribute to Heroes, which brought in $150 million in pledges to help victims of the September 11th terrorist attacks on the U.S. in 2011. And she was in the media spotlight again when Warner Brothers and American Online, the top internet content distributor at the time, announced their ill-fated $14 billion merger in 2000. Brogliatti came to Warner Brothers in October 1990. During her stint that she worked with top executives, including the studio chief executives Bob Daly and Terry Melo, the TV chief at the time, Leslie Moonves, and producer Norman Lear. Prior to her ultimate posting, Brogliatti was senior vice president and corporate communications officer for 7 years. Before that, was named to head worldwide TV publicity in January 1995, adding global responsibilities to a position she has held since April 1992. Brogliatti was also in charge of publicity for such landmark series as All in the Family, Mary Hartman, Dallas, Full House, Friends, and ER, as well as the launch of the WB television network. On Monday, the U.S. Supreme Court affirmed the decision that lets Marvel Enterprise out of a deal to pay royalties to Stephen Kimball, the inventor of a Spider-Man toy called the Webmaster. Kimball patented his idea for the toy, letting users mimic Spider-Man's web shooting abilities in 1990. Marvel began manufacturing a similar toy, which led Kimball to sue for the patent infringement. The two sides came to a settlement in 2001, which provided him with 3% of the net sales. Kimball earned more than $6 million from the agreement, and all was well until 2006, when Marvel licensed the rights to Hasbro, and a dispute erupted over the calculations of royalties. Marvel, in response, pointed to Brogliatti versus Thies Company, a 1964 Supreme Court decision which forbids patent holders from collecting royalties after the expiration date of the patent. The defendant prevailed, and the case went up to the High Court on the question of whether it was time to create new precedent and deem the old rule as a product of a bygone era. In Monday's ruling, Justice Elena Kagan said that the old precedent must stand under what's known as a stare decisis. She writes, "Well, we can decide, we can undecide, but stare decisis teaches that we should exercise that authority sparingly." In her analysis, Kagan says that very strong justifications are needed to depart from stare decisis and allow inventors to make deals that provide them royalties past a patent's expiration. Otherwise, she says that a whole web of precedents would be threatened. Here, the parties made a deal in reliance on judicial doctrines and the absence of Congress stepping in with an amendment to the law. She ruled it was wise not to upset what comes before, even upon arguments that more flexibility is needed in contracting. She adds that patent holders and licensees can accomplish alternative arguments to satisfy goals of payment deferral and risk spreading, and while she implies that the outcome might be different if it involved antitrust rather than patent issues, the justice elects to turn in a modest decision. She even quotes the Spider-Man comics by saying, "In this world, with great power, there must also come great responsibility." She was joined by 5 other justices. The dissent was written by Samuel Alito, who, along with Clarence Thomas and John Roberts, wrote that the old law, quote, interferes with the ability of parties to negotiate licensing agreements that reflect the true value of the patent, and it disrupts contractual expectations. It does not appear to be a happy Father's Day for Charlie Sheen's family. The 49-year-old anger management star posted a series of messages to Twitter on Sunday in which he addressed 2 of his ex-wives, Denise Richards and Brooke Mueller. He wrote, "Brooke M. is a sexy rock star whom I adore. D. Richards is a heretic washed-up piglet shame pile." He wrote, "Happy Father's Day." He followed that up 2 hours later with the long diatribe in which he refers to Richards as a, quote, shakedown piece of shit, douche face, and worst mom alive. He also wrote, "I have paid that Clay Vinek leaky diaper over 30 mil, and she calls me a deadbeat dad. See you in court, you evil terrorist sack of landfill trash. Bitch couldn't act hot in a fire or wet in a pool." Sheen has 2 daughters with Richards, who filed for divorce in 2005, and the pair have had a contentious relationship since. The actor was married to Mueller from 2008 to 2010, and they have a pair of twin sons. Sheen also has an adult daughter from a previous relationship. British actress Helen Mirren will receive the Luchino Visconti Award at the Ischia Global Film and Music Festival. She will be awarded the prize at a special ceremony at the Villa da Colombiana on July 17th, once the home of legendary filmmaker Luchino Visconti. The Oscar-winning actress remains in good company. Past recipients of the awards include Tom Hooper, Stephen Frears, Terry Gilliam, and Baz Luhrmann. Festival director Pascal Vassi-Dominici calls Mirren one of today's most talented and charismatic film and theater players. Mirren's husband, director Taylor Hackford, will also be presented with an award at the festival, getting the Ischia Legend Award. Ischia has a full lineup of honorees this year. Academy Chief Cheryl Boone Isaacs will receive the Ischia Art Award, Matteo Garrone will get the Ischia Fantasy Award, and Antonio Banderas will be honored with the Ischia Legend Award. Nicholas Winding Refn will receive an honor as European Director of the Year, plus Netflix content chief Chet Sarandis will receive Global Legend Award. The festival will also pay homage to Andrea Bocelli, Jimmy Kimmel, and Mario Matorni. Richard Gere will get a lifetime honor next month at the 50th edition of the Karlovy Vary International Film Festival in the Czech Republic. He will receive the festival's Crystal Bowl for outstanding contribution to world cinema. The actor and human rights activist, a personal friend of the Dalai Lama and prominent supporter of the Tibetan independence, will present the festival's opening film, Orion's Move Overman's Time Out of Mind, a psychological drama that sees Gere play a homeless man seeking to reach his estranged daughter, played by Jenna Malone, known for her role as Johanna Mason in the Hunger Games franchise. The festival, hosted a picturesque spa town 2 hours west of Prague, will also screen Andrew Renzi's drama Franny, in which Gere stars as a philanthropist whose troubled past pushes him to get involved in helping a young married couple, organizers announced Monday. Gere, who first appeared in Richard Brooks' 1977 Looking for Mr. Goodbar, and then the following year in Terrence Malick's Days of Heaven, made his name in Paul Schrader's 1980 hit American Gigolo and Taylor Hackford's An Officer and a Gentleman, which brought him his first nomination for a Golden Globe. He won over audiences worldwide with his portrayal of millionaire Lewis in Gary Marshall's 1990 romantic comedy Pretty Woman, starring alongside Julia Roberts. His last Golden Globe nomination 3 years was for his role in Nicholas Jarecki's Arbitrage. The actor is also known for taking a stand on a wide range of social issues, including human rights in Tibet and AIDS. Time to cancel those surveys asking whether anyone would confuse the logo of Deadmau5 with the head of Mickey Mouse. Deadmau5, aka EMD star Joel Zimmerman, has come to an agreement with Disney over his registration of a caricature of the mouse head with black ears, black face, and white eyes and white mouth. Last September, Disney said in an opposition paper filed by Trademark Trial and Appeal Boards that the mouse design was, quote, nearly identical in appearance, connotation, and overall commercial impression to Disney's mouse ears marks, and would, quote, cause confusion among consumers. This caused Zimmerman's own ears to flip out. The music star has done business with Disney or its subsidiaries before. He had licensed Ghost and Stuff for a video game, was approached to reimagine Fantasia, and was in talks to remix the Star Wars theme before the dispute erupted. The Mouse, pronounced Deadmau5, and the House of Mickey have coexisted for a while, but not anymore. The terms of the settlement aren't immediately clear, but they will be likely to be detailed in a paper to the trademark office soon, including a withdrawal of Disney's opposition and any possible amendment trademark registration. The disputes at the trademark office didn't get far, though an appeals board did in April reject one of Deadmau5's defenses that Disney couldn't be harmed from the registration. The settlement also comes as Zimmerman pulled back from the threats made against the producer of Deadmau5 the musical, described as a tale, quote, a mouse who wants to be a house DJ but is discriminated against for being a mouse. The show was happening at a Toronto theater festival, and Zimmerman asserted his trademarks, but after the producers added a disclaimer that the show was a parody, Zimmerman said it was time to move on, one mouse learning from another. Lupe Fiasco is pushing back on the idea of white supremacy. The rap producer took to Instagram to pen an emotional, open letter about the fallacies of this social imbalance. He wrote in the first 3 lengthy captions, "There's also nothing about you psychologically, philosophically, cognitively, academically, socially, architecturally, culturally, or even financially that signifies a higher position above any other group. And to be diplomatic, there is nothing about you that denotes innate inferiority as well. So what you really are is something in the middle. You are regular. White regularity is congruent to all other forms of regularity. For example, black, brown, etc., etc." As Vi pointed out, the Chicago-based Fiasco was likely responding to the racist alleged manifesto of Dylan Roof, the Emmanuel African Methodist Pentecostal church mass shooter that surfaced online yesterday. He went on to cite Apple Computers and international product trades as an example of an inherent collaboration between different ethnicities. He argued white supremacy is a lie white regulars tells to themselves in hope that they can get a one-way ticket to the top and hope we other colors overhear it. Here's the bad news. Ain't no top. Here's the good news, though. Ain't no bottom neither. And finally, Movie going once again prospered in North America this weekend thanks to the 1-2 punch of Inside Out and Jurassic World, with domestic box office revenue up to more than 66% over Father's Day weekend in 2014. Many expect the Pixar's Inside Out to top out at $65 million, considering the T-Rex-like might of Universal's Jurassic World, but the race was much closer than expected as Inside Out raced to $91.1 million from 3,946 theaters, the best opening for an original Pixar title and the second best of any Pixar film behind Toy Story 3, which launched to $110.3 million and had the benefit of being part of a beloved franchise. Inside Out also claimed ownership to the top opening for any original movie, live action or otherwise, that isn't based on the source material, eclipsing the $77 million debut of Avatar. This feat is thanks to plenty of interest from both families, 71%, and adults, 21%. Teens made up the rest of the ticket buyers, 8%. Still, that wasn't enough to overtake Jurassic World, which rotated to $102 million in its second weekend from 4,291 theaters, declining a narrow 51% and almost eclipsing The Avengers, $103 million, to score the top sophomore gross of all time. In its first 10 days, Jurassic World has earned a massive $398 million domestically. The weekend's other new entry was Dope Rick Famuyiwa's coming-of-age story that made waves at the 2015 Sundance Film Festival. The movie opened to a so-so $6 million from 2002 theaters. Open Road Films opted for a nationwide opening versus a platform release. Dope came in number 5 behind Holdovers, Spy, and San Andreas, respectively. From Fox and director Paul Feig, Spy took in $10.5 million and a domestic total of $74.4 million. Overseas, the Melissa McCarthy comedy has earned $95 million from a global total to date of $170.4 million. San Andreas celebrated crossing the $400 million mark at the worldwide box office, including a domestic-like $282 million internationally. And Inside Out wasn't the only animated film making noise overseas. Universal and Illumination's Entertainment Minions has begun rolling out at the foreign box office, grossing a strong $12.2 million from 4 markets. The spinoff opens in North America July 10th. At the U.S. specialty box office, there were several other new high-profile offerings, including The Orchard, The Overnight, the best showing of any film outside Inside Out, and Jurassic World. The Adam Scott Taylor Schilling comedy collected $61,523 from 3 screens for a $20,507 per screening average. Sony Pictures classic and Infinitely Polar Bear finally hit theaters after debuting at the 2014 Sundance Film Festival. Maya Forbes' dramedy starring Mark Ruffalo and Zoe Saldana grossed $47,398 from 5 locations for a location average of $9,480. At number 6 was Insidious Chapter 3, which made $4.1 million. Number 7 was Pitch Perfect, number 2, which made $3.2 million. Number 8, Mad Max Fury Road, made $2.8 million. Number 9, Avengers Age of Ultron, made $2.7 million. And at number 10 in the box office, Tomorrowland, which made $2 million. And that is your entertainment report for Monday, June 22nd, 2015. I'm your host, Mr. Downtown Ray Melo. I'll be back tomorrow to deliver some of the major stories and trends going on in the world of entertainment and beyond. You can follow the show on Facebook or on Twitter, facebook.com/The Entertainment Report with Ray Melo. That's RAYMELO. Or on Twitter at The Enter Report. You can listen to this episode or any previous episodes of the show on iHeart.com. Just go there and search for The Entertainment Report, and they'll take you to the page. Good night, and God bless.